Hey there, you're probably wondering how I got here, and you're probably also wondering if I'm about to die and lose my world. But you'll just have to wait, stick around, and watch, and see what happens in today's episode of Hardcore Minecraft. Like I just said, this video will be using sticks to defeat the Ender Dragon in a sort of roundabout sort of way, but I'll explain that later. First, we have to pick up where last episode left off. Day 20. Between episodes, I went into the Nether and found the lost cat. And to do this plan of using sticks, we need to prepare my foundation, my corporation, or whatever word we want to use for it. To set this up, I need wool. And thankfully, we already have a small sheep farm, so I derobed all of the poor sheep and used their wool to craft up some beds. We need these beds to help encourage the villagers to breed. Yes, that's right. Over the next few days, we will be setting up my villager foundation in order to farm emeralds. You know, because I'm such a nice person, I will even eventually be letting them see the sky. Isn't that crazy? But I was able to save 2 villagers from being killed in the raid, and I moved them both into one house. Once the 2 villagers have joined up, I cleaned up the house to give them that luxury sky view. You know, that's just crazy. People out here don't even give their villagers sky views. Now, villagers need food to breed for some reason. Oh, I know why. They have to use the food in their belly to spawn a child that comes out of their belly, and the reason it takes 2 is to craft it because the baby inside is formed from the food, and the other villager beats the stomach of their partner to push the newly crafted baby out. Once I had some bread, I threw the bread at the villagers to set the mood, and I watched, and I watched, and watched until the baby came out. I ran out of bread though, so I had to run around and steal the rest of the crops from the now empty village. With this new amounts of food, the chamber needed more beds, so I made some more, and then I decided it was my turn to get in bed. Day 21 started with me waking up and feeding the foundation members more child-making food, and I completely finished removing the roof, and I'm so sure that the villagers are much happier. Today was cleanup day. We are cleaning up the village after the raid. The boats need to be cleared up as well as the removal of lots of cobblestone pillars. After the cleanup, I need to get fletching tables so that we could begin my master plan. With this fletching table, we have given one of our villagers a job, and I think it's time for him to get a name. This is Kevin. Everyone say hi to Kevin. Hopefully he enjoys his eternal stay in my compound, because he's never gonna leave. I just realized that Kevin and his wife have gotten busy, and there was children everywhere. After seeing his kids, I brought him his favorite item, sticks. He gives me precious earth gems for the sticks. That's a fair trade, honestly, and what a deal. And thus began my stick addiction, which basically means I love deforestation. And since the villagers are horrible architects, I used most of the wood from their neighboring houses that are now vacant to help craft the sticks to trade back to them for money. The day ended with me converting Kevin's wife into a toolsmith villager, and then it was sleep time for me. Day 22 was a massive progress day. I started by collecting all the sticks anyone would ever need, but this wasn't even 1/50th of all the sticks I would end up collecting throughout the course of this video. And is that a skull emoji on my script? Oh my gosh, how old am I? Anyway, an iron golem spawned. And did you know that iron golems can be converted into emeralds? Apparently, Kevin's wife has more standards when it comes to selling her goods. Pretty much all I did was farm sticks and emeralds over and over, and I even created a nice junk chest. My investigation of the terrible architecture of the villagers continued on day 23. I have concluded that they do not need walls anymore. With the wood, I turned it into sticks, and I traded those sticks for emeralds, which I used on Kevin's wife, and because she's now max prestige, she could sell me diamond tools. That's crazy. I turned sticks into diamonds. I can see why they might be getting nerfed soon. As for the rest of the day, it was pretty mid. All I did was level up a new armor and continue to trade sticks for green rocks. Day 24 was the exact same thing, but I went down into the mines to find some iron to trade with the new armor. Now, let me divulge my plan a little bit here. The plan was to upgrade my current setup to go into the nether to find some blaze rods so I could beat the game. But I can't die, so I need protection, and I can buy that protection from the armor villager. But we're down in the mines for now, and they look the exact same as they did the last time I was here. Boring and lots of mobs. Once I got a decent amount of iron, I was back up to the surface where night had fallen. After putting the raw iron into the furnaces, I let one of my cats walk around for the first time, and they decided to lay down on my bed as I was sleeping. I needed to find a black one ASAP to bring Double C back into this world. Day 25 started with me trade maxing the armorer villager so that I could get those diamond armor trades, again by turning sticks into diamond armor, and my compound continues to grow and grow. But I realized I was 30 plus levels, so I needed to do an enchant. And I started to look at you, pickaxe. You looking mighty enchantable. And I see a silk touch, and I know I just have to go for that. That's just the one I need. Fingers crossed, we get efficiency or unbreaking, and we get efficiency 4. That's a pretty good enchantment. But I still have 29 levels, so I go trade with some villagers, get up to 30, buy a pickaxe, disenchant the pickaxe, and then re-enchant it and combine it with my silk touch pickaxe. And finally, I name it something creative. After that, I spent the rest of the day deforesting and trading my sticks for emeralds, and I went to Cleep. On day 26, I decided the compound needed to expand, so I made a brand new luxury area. And look at them, they're so happy and these working conditions are amazing. They only have to walk on their beds sometimes. After the building was done, guess what we did? Yep, we went right back to getting more sticks. Yay! And we traded these sticks for some emeralds, which we used to buy some diamond boots. After combining these boots together, we killed an ironic golem and went to Cleep. Day 27 started with me feeding some villagers the bread that I had traded for with one of the farmer villagers. I don't know why he can't just feed everyone. Like, he has the bread already inside him. Why do I have to go around and be like, hey everyone, have babies? Life would be so much simpler if people could just make babies without me. On this day, I kind of ran into a what to do now moment because I needed gear, but I didn't want to mine more trees. But then I remembered the farmer sells golden carrots, so I had the inspiration to do more deforestation and, collect more sticks. I did this for a really long time before I had enough sticks to level up Mr. Farmer to max level, and finally I was able to get some good food in this world, and I think I'm gonna use this for the rest of the series. Oh, and I even wake up my villagers in the nighttime so they can trade with me. I'm such a good master. Now it's time for Cleep again. Day 28 was my last nether prep day before I went into the underworld to get blaze rods. The two things I did all day were gather wood for sticks and gather flint for 3 more fletching tables. Because of all this deforestation, I realized something. The villagers love deforestation. Let me explain. So the villagers' economy is built around emeralds, and to get emeralds you need to chop trees and make sticks. So they are paying me to chop trees for them and remove the natural forest land. So in theory, they enjoy seeing the land become bare so much that they would pay me. Anyway, on to the next day. Day 29 and 30 I lumped together because I forgot to check my day counter. Oops. These 2 days were my nether adventure days, and surprisingly, this isn't even where I almost died and lost the world. I did almost die twice, but it wasn't nearly as close as it was when I was in the end. My goal was to find a fortress, but I spotted a bastion almost immediately upon entering, and all I had to do was run through the Crimson Forest, so I decided we would go check and see if we can get some netherite or even some of those upgrade templates. Almost immediately after dropping down to the top of the bastion, I was chased by one of those piglin brutes who can 2-hit me. That's pretty scary stuff if you ask me. I'm not sure the name of this bastion because I think they have different names based on which one has generated, like a stables or like a treasure bastion. I don't know which one this one was, but it looked pretty lame from what I could see. So I started mining down into the top of the bastion, which was a huge mistake, but I was able to find a netherite upgrade template, so I guess that's huge for later. Pushing forward, I was mining through the walls, going deeper and deeper into it until I almost had a heart attack when I got jump scared by a piglin brute and ran away on 2 hearts to panic in a tiny box. This was an extremely close call, and if I had popped that totem, I might not have been able to survive and keep the world, but you have to wait till the end to see why. Once I had healed up, I realized I can break a block in this little box and kill all the baddies and then continue looting the bastion. There wasn't anything much left of interest in here, but I did find another upgrade thingy at the bottom of the bastion. Now with all this loot, I went back to the Crimson Forest to find the fortress. I decided to go in the opposite direction through a wall, and I said, well, I'm kind of high up, so why don't I mine down? And I found another part of a Crimson Forest, and down there, through a little set of stairs, was the fortress. Apparently the Crimson Forest or whatever is red and stuff, you know, the Bloods or whatever would love it, but since I'm not really affiliated with a gang, I couldn't really care less. Right upon entering the fortress, there was a blaze spawner, and these guys would get one shot by my arrows, so I just blasted them until I had enough rods. After destroying the blazes, I had 13 rods and decided that was enough, so I trekked all the way back home. And those guys are easy with an OP bow. You see why we got it? For some reason, that reminds me of Terraria. But don't worry everyone, I made it out of the nether alive. Woohoo! Once I was back in the normal world, I saw a new kitty and went, yes, I need to add that to my collection. These little guys are fast, but not fast enough to escape life sitting at the edge of my bed. Speaking of bed, it looks like he's just chilling on there, and now it's my turn to go to sleep. Day 31 was one of those days I would cut if I didn't show you everything that I did because we tried to get ender pearls to move on to the final stage of this video. But we tried this for the entirety of the day, and at the end of the day, we completely went with a different method than either of these two that I tried. So first failed method was to barter with the piglins using the gold that I had found in the bastion and just gold that I relatively had sitting around. I'm pretty sure you can get ender pearls from this. I think I'm right. I might be wrong, but oh well, we didn't get any. And so now on to failed method 2, which was killing the enderman in the warped forest. But 1 out of 10 endermen killed gave me a pearl. I think these guys are supposed to give you them, you know, they're the main source of them from the game, from a mob drop. But anyway, I gave up and went back to crawl into bed defeated. While I was sleeping, I had a dream that the ender pearls could be bought from villagers. Yes, the very things we had employed at our compound. So in the morning of day 32, it was back to deforestation. I started trading and leveling up the villager I thought was the one that sold ender pearls, but I was wrong and didn't realize that until after all the emeralds were traded away. Sometimes I surprise myself with my stupidity. Anyway, I 1v1'd an iron golem to let off some steam, and guess who won? I did, of course. I have a bow and he doesn't even have a sword. So on day 33, I logged in and made sure to gather sticks for emeralds to trade with the cleric one, the one who actually gives me ender pearls. I totally didn't have to Google which villager sold them. I didn't do anything super fun except for making what I like to call my tree cube. It's a 3x3 cube of solid wood, so it reminded me of high school locker rooms, but that's beside the point. It provided a ton of sticks for me to trade away. I spent the entire day and even into the night collecting the trade sticks, but I didn't have enough to trade max the villager. But on my way to bed, I spotted another cat and I just knew I had to add him to my collection. Man, it's really starting to grow. I'm starting to become one of those people who has like 20 animals in their house, which can be fun, but like 9 guinea pigs is kind of a lot. Taming the cat was the last thing I did before bed. Day 34 was the final day of prep before the dragon fight. Yes, that means you won't have to hear me talk about sticks anymore, but all I needed was emeralds for pearls, so I spent the first half of the day doing my favorite activity, deforestation. I chopped down like 40 trees to get 15 pearls, and I turned those pearls into eyes of ender. With the 15 eyes, we are ready to locate the end portal and slay the dragon. I gathered all the food and blocks and everything to defeat the dragon, but the amount of arrows I prepped were not even close to enough. But you guys don't know that yet. With everything gathered, we were ready to go, but I wanted one last sleep with my cats in case this is where I die and lose all of the friends I've made along the way. Alright, this is it. Day 35 through 36. I clumped them together because I forgot to check my day counter again. But we get right into it, and when I woke up, I immediately started throwing eyes to find the portal. Funny enough, the portal was right by the pillager outpost. Maybe in the future a base would go well here since there's so much around it. Anyway, we found the portal room really fast, and it turns out the stronghold was in a deep dark biome, so that could be really interesting later on. After destroying the silverfish spawner, we put the eyes into the portal. A lot went through my mind when I saw that portal open up. For the first time in years, I was actually scared of the dragon fight. If I die here, I lose it all. After that, I locked back in and jumped into the portal. Once I teleported in, my platform spawned very far from the main island, so it was time to build a bridge over. And this is why you always bring blocks with you whenever you go to the end. My strategy looked something like this. Stay underground till I got a chance to go to the center of the island and then snipe all of the pillars that are not in the cages. If I needed, I would pillar up to the cages and break the 2 healing crystals in there because there's 2 with cages. Then snipe the dragon when it's in the air and use my sword when it's perching until it dies. Alright, let's lock in and see if I can do it. I dug all the way to the center, or so I thought it was the center. I remembered that the pillars go all the way down and made an enderman safe base, just in case I were to get swarmed during the fight by endermen. Then I started sniping the crystals. Once I got most of them, I went for the caged ones. And this is where I made a fatal and massive mistake. So I was pillaring up to the first cage, and once I got there, I broke the crystal, but the mistake was on the way down. What I did was box up because I thought the dragon was gonna yeet me off. Once I was in my box, I opened a window to snipe the crystals and see where the dragon was. And when I did this, the dragon shot a ball of poison right into the window, and this almost immediately popped a totem. So I went down to reset, and he shot again at my box, which started cooking me alive. It popped 3 more totems before I was able to dig down and escape the poison. I had to pause my game here to calm down. I got so so close to dying. I couldn't let that stop me from trying to defeat this dragon. I quickly took out the other caged crystal as to avoid any more mistakes, and the rest of the fight was super easy after that. Just kidding, I had to clutch like with ender pearls like 3 times. But after that, I kept at it and I was just chipping away at the dragon's health. I ran out of arrows halfway through, so I just had to sit around and wait for him to perch. But after like 15 minutes, he perched for the final time, and with that, I have slayed the ender dragon. After I collected the XP and tried to collect the egg, but it said nope and teleported away. I teleported back and danced with my cats that I defeated the ender dragon, using only materials from sticks. I may have almost died, and I did lose 4 of my totems, but hey, we survived. And with that, I would like to thank you all for watching to the very end if you did. If you didn't, you won't be hearing this and you'll never know it existed. But like I stated at the very beginning, I'm trying to have episodes out every Wednesday for you guys. So I'll catch you guys next Wednesday for another episode. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.